don't think I belong here. I don't think I fit in.
Oh, nonsense. Of course you do.
Oh, no, I mean it. It's just somebody must have goofed if I gotta stay here another day.
Peace. It's Professor Griff, public enemy, the ex-minister.
Which means it's too strong.
All right. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Do not go anywhere. Pop, 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 pop. All right. Greetings. It's Professor Griff, and of course, you all already know I'm in the upper room. Yeah, anytime I get a chance to kind of do the broadcast upstairs, where I can keep my eye on things. Yeah, it's always a beautiful thing. It's Hawa. Oh, I'll figure it out, sis. Give me a minute. Yeah, that's just thick African Native American tongue. All right, shout out to King Simon. What's good with you? All right, shout out to everyone that has been supporting the platform. I really appreciate that. Family, we got an interesting conversation tonight. We're going to be talking about the whole idea of this African forum, this African summit. Joe Biden went over and, they came over and they spoke to 49 different nations, all right, in Africa, on the African continent, pardon me, and left out a few, in which we're going to deal with some of these things tonight. Africa kindly rejected a blank check that was on the table. Joe Biden turned around and pledged $55 million to helping to rebuild Africa. It's very hard for me to kind of process because America has been ignoring Africa. Shout out to Double B. What's good with you? We're in search of my good sister, Quan S. Shout out to Tina Ray. Shout out to everyone that's been supporting the platform. Family, do me a favor. All right. After I get up the broadcast, I'm going to post the flyer for the upcoming firearms class, June 7th in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Share it. Make sure we get to the class. Why are we acting like it's not about to go down? All right. We should be preparing ourselves physically, along with mentally, spiritually, and regardless of what your age is, you have to find your lane and come up with a plan. All right. So thanks to everyone that has been supporting the platform, giving me space and room and some of the resources I need to kind of be flexible. Because trust me, fam, some people come to the class, they can't afford the class. They can't afford ammo. They can't afford whatever. All right. But since the support that is given to me here on the platform, I'm able to make some concessions and I'm able to make a way for some people. So with that said, let's dive into this subject. So on Reuters, and of course, you all know you can go to Reuters.com. Quan showing up in the buildings. Quan said, hold up, man. Slow down, bro. Pump the brakes. I'm here. Shout out to Quan. What's good with you? Quan, I'm going to be in your hood, so I want to see you on Tuesday. All right? And then I'm speaking again for a Kwanzaa celebration in Fort Worth on Thursday. Pardon me, on Wednesday. On Wednesday. All right. Okay. The museum is on Tuesday. I'm speaking, introducing Khalid El Hakim on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, I'm speaking at a church in Fort Worth. All right. Okay. All right. On Reuters.com, Biden says U.S. is all in on Africa's future. I have a series of questions that I like to ask because, as y'all know, I do not like spilling out and spewing everything I feel and what I think on you guys. I'd rather have a conversation. All right. I'd rather have a conversation because I want to hear what you have to say, what you think about the situation. Let me just kind of move this back a little out of my grill. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just kind of take it from the top. Washington, December 4th, Reuters.com says President Joe Biden on Wednesday announced an agreement aimed at bolstering, trade ties between the United States and Africa after years in which the continent took a back seat to other U.S. priorities as China made inroads with investments and trade. Okay, so now let me give you what I've been seeing over the years real quick, and then we'll dialogue. All right, my question now with this is, why now? Why now? What is going on the global scene as far as different countries are concerned? So China is spreading its wings. All right. China, like Russia, is taking stock and defending itself in reference to what Taiwan is doing. And America has a foreign policy when it comes to Taiwan in which it's going to defend Taiwan. I know I'm talking global politics right now, but just bear with me, fam. All right. China's already been in Africa. China has a relationship with Russia. All right. So now, if you can see how Russia is at war with Ukraine, in which the Western press fails to give us the real legitimate reasons, because most of us do not understand the language that Putin is speaking, so that when they translate it, it always comes out like Putin is the bully. All right. But trust me, fam, if you look into what has been going on over the last 5 to 7 years with Russia trying to get the world to understand that he does not want the Ukraine to become part of NATO, because you could easily invade Russia if that was the case. All right. So now, with that said, let's understand America's move on the chessboard when it comes to trying to snuggle up next to Africa now. Just a minute ago, with the previous administration, black people and brown people were living in shithole countries. Am I right or wrong? Is that the language? Is that the language? That's the language. So now, prior to that, America was setting up military bases in Africa. Can anyone do some basic research right now and let me know how many American military bases are on the continent of Africa? Come on now, talk to me. At the same time, Dexter P was good with you, bro. Still standing. All right. The U.S. is trying to get a hold of the largest cobalt reserve in the world, which is used to power the batteries and other parts used in electric cars. Okay. So that's good. I love that, Dexter. Now, what was happening? What was the mineral before cobalt? You said 15 military bases. Okay. How many people remember AFRICOM? Tell me, what is AFRICOM? Andre Williams, of course, you may send a donation. Quan will put a link up where you can send a donation, or you could just do the Cash App, which is $ Professor Griff. How many people remember AFRICOM? Someone said it's 29 military installations or 29 military bases in Africa. 29 known bases in 15 African countries. That sounds better. 29 known bases in 15 African countries. What do you think America is planning? All right. If you have 29 bases in 15 countries on the continent of Africa, I thought Africa was a shithole country or continent. And black people come from shithole countries. How many countries are there inside of the continent of Africa? AFRICOM is the United States command of all military operations on the continent of Africa. What are they doing in Africa? And when we talk about going to Africa, they make it sound like it's not a place for us to go. What is the other precious minerals that are there in Africa that not only America, but the world needs? Now I'm hearing it's 57 bases. It's 54 bases. It's 59 bases. All right. Cobalt and unmined gold recently found in Uganda are worth trillions of dollars. Uranium. All right. Gold. Now do you see the underhandedness of America, Joe Biden, and the rest of these individuals trying to snuggle up next to Africa? Of course, there's diamonds in Africa. All of the precious minerals that are all of the people that's trying to advance the technology in their prospective countries, in their prospective fields, all right, need the precious minerals coming out of Africa. LP, what's good with you, bro? All right. So we understand now Joe Biden and the United States government, of course, copper, Joe Biden and the United States government making a strategic chess move, not a checkers move, a chess move in order to position themselves in Africa. Now, how many of you guys, Andre Williams, thank you very much for the donation, good bro. Really appreciate you. How many people remember, what is the name of the book? Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Talk to me, y'all. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I think Robert Greene wrote 48 Laws of Power. Who wrote Confessions of an Economic Hitman? Help me out, fam. I need to take some brain tonic. I know. But right now, we brewing the brain tonic. It won't be ready for 30 days. Perkins. Yeah, thank you. Perkins. What is his first name? I can't pull it to mind, but John Perkins. Thank you very much. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. All right. You never heard of that book? Come on, Miss Kalola. You got to get John Perkins' book, Confessions of the Economic Hitman. You'll see how America moves and how America works when they want to destabilize countries. So when I'm looking at 50 some odd bases, military bases on the continent that they said wasn't worth a damn, all right, having military presence, all right, carrying out military actions, carrying out covert action, all right, trying to neutralize China because China is in bed with Russia, all right. Now somebody look up and give me the percentage of the investments in China compared to the investments of America into Africa. Now, we're not saying what China is doing is necessarily good and hunky-dory and happy and cheerful and let's all come to the Chinese party. I'm not saying that. Give me the percentage of investments in Chinese companies into Africa, and then give me the investments of American companies into Africa. You said China is deep in Africa? Okay. Does China have a military base though? Does China have 50-something military bases in Africa? Samuel, what's up, good bro? The article goes on to say the United States is all in on Africa's future. Question is why? Biden told African leaders from 49 countries and the African Union at a 3-day summit in Washington that began on Tuesday. This is what he said. I'm asking the question, all right, where do African Americans fit in the discussion? Were we even invited to the table? Were we even invited to the table? Did America, for over the last 10 years, have this I'm the white bully on the block, bullying Africa, making Africans feel inferior? And then how come America didn't come to the Africans' aid that was trapped in the Ukraine? You see, we're not going on what you're saying, we're going on what you're doing. Larry Pitton writes, China invested $2.96 billion in Africa last year, up 9.5% from 2019. Almost all of that US, I'm not understanding that, man. USD $2.66 billion was non-financial direct investment. The trend is continuing in 2021. What is the percentage? What's the difference is what I'm asking. What did China invest and what did America invest? You said they send military and not aid? Because does Africa need their infrastructure built? Yeah. Airports, schools, hospitals. All right. Danny Harrison, very good point, man. Very good point. The enemy's public, very good point. AFRICOM got in Africa through Obama. All right. So now let's take a deeper dive. Where is the African American leaders at the 3-day conference? Do we have a relationship with African leaders? Did African Americans, did we even come up? Were we even part of the discussion? Come on now. It says in 2019, this is Diego. Hold on. It says in 2019, Chinese exported 113 billion to Africa in the past 16 years. What has America done in Africa? What is the percentage? All right. What is the cultural scene going to look like in Africa in a minute? Because if you go on TikTok right now, you see all kind of Asians, Chinese and the like, moving like us, dancing like us, dressing like us. All right. Is it cultural appropriation? Is it cultural banditry? What's happening? And every now and then you'll see, when they let it happen, you'll see a beautiful young African coming up with a new invention, having to go to someone else outside of Africa to find funding for that particular invention. The electric car that's running on water, a few other inventions. All right. The article goes on to say Biden's remarks at the summit aim to position the United States as a partner to African countries amid competition with China, which has sought to expand its influence by funding infrastructure projects on the continent and elsewhere. Chinese trade with Africa is about 4 times that of the United States. There's my answer. Chinese trade with Africa is about 4 times that of the United States. And Beijing has become an import creditor by offering cheaper loans, often to different terms and collateral requirements than Western lenders. That interest rate must be high, man, coming from out of America. If they doing Africa like they doing some of us in America with them damn high-ass interest rates on them whack-ass damn credit cards. Anyway, let me tell you something, man. They've already instituted this global credit score. That if you traveling around and moving about the world, the globe, and your score ain't, and you're not tied in and you don't have the chip, please, come on. Biden said a new agreement with the African continent free trade area will give American companies access to 1.3 billion people. Will black companies have access to 1.3 billion people? Y'all online having a goddamn gender fight with black and white women, black women and white men, black women and black men. We are online arguing about brothers and sisters not loving and respecting black people from America. That's what we're talking about. We're not trying to develop leaders in order for them to represent us, not only here, but as Malcolm X said, on the African continent. Come on, y'all. So will we have access to the 1.3 billion people and a market value of $3.4 trillion? Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? Having access to 1.3 billion people and having access to a 3.4 billion, trillion as in T, not B, billion, T, trillion dollars. $3.4 trillion. Come on, y'all. We have to start thinking globally, acting domestically. All right. Each individual needs to start taking stock of who they are as individuals and our domestic allies and our foreign allies. All right. Hold on, Dexter. I'm going back, man. I got you, good bro. Oh, was that it? You said Africa is going to have another ethnic group in their population, a mixed race Chinese and African, Chinese fathers, African mothers. Wow. Everybody else on the planet want the black woman except black men. Is that what I'm hearing? Come on. How many of us are taking stock in Africa after reading these numbers now? How many of our thinking might change to the point where we start having our children not only take European foreign language, but African foreign language? Come on, we have to start thinking way beyond and start educating our children way beyond civil rights, way beyond slavery, way beyond the trial. I'm not saying negate it and forget it. I'm saying that's already in place. We got to educate our children beyond that. All right. There's nothing wrong with you having dual citizenship. If America is trying, as Biden said, a new agreement with African Continental Free Trade Area will be giving African American companies, access to 1.3 billion people and a market value at $3.4 trillion, then we need to talk about this dual citizenship. Can I have a Ghanaian passport? Can I have a passport from Nigeria and America? Can I have a passport from different countries in Africa? A passport that would allow me to move about the country. All right. Do we need to have our children study African languages and customs and culture? All right. So that we can do trading to take advantage of the $3.4 trillion market value? You said you saw a post where they were teaching Chinese kids African languages. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. We don't, and when we start talking about the education of our children, we don't think in terms of having them learn business in reference to doing business with black people in Africa. Now, let's not get it twisted. There are other people in Africa. All right. Okay, keep that in mind. All right. So we need to start looking at understanding when Africa succeeds, the United States succeeds. This is coming from Joe Biden. Now, this language is shocking to me, keeping my finger on the pulse of what's going on globally and understanding what's going on domestically. We still can't get it written on the books that some of the laws that they've put in place to protect Asian people and other people. We can't even get that here in America. But if America wants to do business with Africa, I think Africa should have a summit, a week summit, all right, and sit down with African Americans, and we need to talk. But the question is, as I bring this conversation to a close, what leaders would we send to that meeting? What leaders would we send to the meeting? Quite frankly, the whole world succeeds as well if Africa succeeds, because everyone needs the precious minerals coming out of Africa. That's why. Who would we send? Okay, we will send Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Okay, who else? So we need to start thinking of developing those people that will go to sit down at the meeting to represent all of us. Not just the Muslims, not just the RBG, not just the Hebrew Israelites, not just the Moors, not just the Church of God in Christ, over Christ, no Christ, whatever. No. We have to be focused, and we have to be clear, and we have to choose those individuals that have demonstrated that they have a love for us and will not back down and cow down, all right, to European pressure. All right. As a side note, thank God that Argentina won the World Cup. I was just thought I'd see some brothers coming out of Argentina. France had all the brothers. I'm trying to figure out how that looked. Claude Anderson, of course. James Smalls, of course. Hell, if you can't trust the people to operate here in America, we're definitely not sending them to the meeting to represent us. We're not doing that. So don't be putting no funny names up in the chat, y'all, because you know we're not sending them. Because before they go to the meeting to represent us, they got to come and sit down in front of us and let us question them. Who are those individuals that are unwavering? All right? That don't flip-flop, that'll go speak to these people like they proud Black Africans. Because at the same time, we need to bring all the factions of Black people in America together, because we have to show a united front. All right? We got to send people that haven't enriched themselves and, sold us out and all this other kind of stuff. You start thinking of who those individuals are that we will send over there to speak for us on a global level now. Because when we go to speak, all right, we got to talk to the Africans. We got to straighten out this whole idea of some of the African countries selling us into slavery. We got to have the conversation with the Chinese, the Russians, all right, and some of them other people that are on the African continent. Who are those individuals? All right, if you can't think of one person, then start developing yourself, all right, to develop your children to be those individuals to go speak for us. All right? See, now is the time you either put up or shut up. We need to have those individuals that will go speak for us. In conclusion, during a White House dinner honoring African leaders and their spouses, Biden addressed what he called America's original sin, the enslavement of millions of people, and honored their descendants at the broader African diaspora community in the United States. It's hard. I'm reading this for the second time, but it's just hard for me to process this. That's all. Bear with me. Our people lie at the heart of the deep and profound connection that forever binds. How you gonna have a conversation about slavery in a 3-day conference and you don't invite African Americans? Some of these names that y'all are putting in the chat, I wouldn't send to a goddamn cockfight. No. No. No, hell no. We remember the stolen men and women and children were brought to our shores in chains, subjected to the unimaginable cruelty, and the ones that were already here, and the riches that not only America, when you carved and divided up the scramble of Africa, your allies, France and other people, what Germany did to Africa, all right, what France did to Africa, what France is doing to Africa right now, all right? Africa, to a degree, has to look toward the African American. I'm just saying it outright. Who knows these people better than we do? We've been living here, up under them. Here we go with the buffoonery. Singer Gladys Knight later serenaded Biden at the visiting leaders with a performance in the White House State Dinner Room. The summit is the first of its kind since the one in 2014 under President Barack Obama, himself the son of an African father. To kick it off, the Biden administration has pledged $55 billion for food security, climate change, trade partnership, and other issues. Biden is also expected to back the African Union's admission as a permanent member of the group of 20 major economies, during Thursday's meeting. Before the dinner, Biden met leaders from Gabon, Liberia, and others facing 2023 elections for a discussion on elections and democratic principles. I say when you go to look up the African leaders that were not invited, and y'all could put them in the chat, what countries weren't invited? And then why not? Can I just say something real quick before I have to get off of here? Can we please, and I'm going to say this and get off of here, anything that opens the door for young people to get an idea of Africa and themselves and see themselves as great. We in America, can we stop bashing everything that even looks black or looks like African and stop chiseling and tearing things down? A movie might come out giving us some semblance of what African countries are about or what they do or whatever, and we'll chew it up and tear it apart to the point where young people will read that stuff and be like, I don't want nothing to do with Africa. We as a black people in America, we need to stop that, man. If you see something come out now, why can't we take the best of what that thing is and pass it forward? Why do we always have to be so negative about it? And you're right. I feel the same way you feel. No more slave movies. But if one is going to come out anyway, and young people are going to see it, I'm going to extract what's in the movie that I could use as a teachable moment to use that to teach the lesson, and then let's move forward. Because some of these movies are going to come out anyway. There's teachable moments. Rather than me saying, oh man, Will Smith, blah, 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 another slave movie, yada, yada, yada. Then I tear him down. Then I tear the movie down. Then I tear everything down about, come on, fam. Come on, fam. Let's grow the fuck up. For real. Grow the fuck up. There's a lot of things I feel about a lot of people and a lot of things that's not so positive. All right? I'm not going to come on here and spew that to you guys. I'll keep it to myself, talk about it with my circle of people, get on here, and if I can find something positive, that's what I'm pushing out on Serious Minds RNTV. All right? Because by the time you finish chewing something up, tearing it apart and ripping it apart and tearing it down, hell, you make us feel like it's a shame to be black. It's a shame to be in this skin. Let's stop doing that, man. No, listen. I've been invited to 15 different interviews that I've turned down in reference to talking about Kanye West. Because two things I do understand. All skin folk ain't kin folk, and y'all already know that. And I do understand what cognitive dissonance is. Trust me, I do. So rather than getting on 20 platforms to talk down about Kanye West, I'd rather just say, nope, no thank you. I'm good. I'm good. And then some same individuals try to big you up. Well, Professor Griff, you was the first one, blah, 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 blah. That don't move me. Homework assignment. Go online and write down the questions that them other people are asking the globe to answer. All right? And then let's start holding people accountable. All right? The first person that we're going to hold accountable is the self. Then those of us that are around us, because that's the most difficult thing. For Griff to hold Griff accountable and get Griff together, then I got immediate family members to hold accountable. And then I got friends that I'm going to hold accountable. And then we let it spread. All right? And then we don't deal with any slack talkers like, nah, I don't give a damn if it's the barbershop or wherever. We're not going to do that. Now, I don't agree with every African that stepped to the podium to speak. They didn't even mention us. I'm not going to come on here and blast them. I do want to know why they didn't invite Nigeria. But I want y'all to know why. So I'm going, as the Minister of Information, I'm going to go research it. Who are the other countries that they didn't invite? And why not? Why didn't they invite Nigeria? I love the brothers and sisters that stood up when Morocco won the game against who were they playing? I forgot who they playing. But Morocco stepped up to the plate, man. And the brothers and sisters were like, no. Morocco's in Africa. Then they tried, all of a sudden now they wanted to turn Morocco into an Arab country. And the Africans was like, no. How many different people are there that make up Morocco? So they beat Portugal. They started looking at Morocco and Africa different now. All right, family. I'm not going to talk y'all to death. I love y'all to life. I thought this was a very interesting conversation that I saw this in the news. There's some other things that's happening in the news that I want to talk about, but I just said to myself, I try to find conversations that I think that'll elevate the consciousness level as opposed to talking about the pastor in Brooklyn that got robbed and now he's bringing him up on charges. Okay. It's like, come on, fam. We need to start picking subjects to kind of talk about that's going to elevate our consciousness and broaden it. All right. I'm sorry. Did I say Colbert or is it Coltan? I apologize. You got to admit when you're wrong. Hell. All right. The best knower in the room. All right. Family. It's Professor Griff. And of course, you already know I'm going to be in Dallas. All right. Next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And of course, January 7th in Stone Mountain, Georgia, I'll be teaching a firearms class. Please, please, please tell some people about it. Come get in the class. All right. Let's do some cold weather training at the range. Let's get outdoors. Let's make it happen. Let's get indoors, especially the women. If this is your first time learning about firearms, let's get down. Let's go make it happen. Shout out to Tig, my sister's keepers. All right. Shout out to Black Satin Gloves, all women's gun club. All right. Let's join the gun clubs. All right. Let's start training. All right. Let's elevate our consciousness. Let's start thinking globally, moving domestically and thinking globally and start to move. You get your passport, you go, you be able to at least know some of the customs and cultures. All right. In the 50 some odd countries that are there on the continent of Africa. It's Professor Griff, the Minister of Information, of course, right here on Serious Minds, RNTV. All right. Please support the platform. All right. If you'd like to send a donation, you can do that. My Cash App is $ Professor Griff. I love you all to life. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for some commercials. Peace, fam. Peace, peace, peace.
Check out Plant-Based BK on DoorDash. Create your own playlist from our winter soundtrack. Turn up the bass.
Is the material that's increasingly used for technology. Oh, wow.
Greetings, peace and love, and welcome to Smile Pharmacy Apothecary. We've been here since 2019, and although times have changed and healthcare has evolved, our traditions of compassion and professionalism thrives on. You are always at the heart of what we do. Smile Pharmacy, we heal. Visit us today online or in store at smilepharmacy.com.
50 million. That's how many people in the U.S. suffer from chronic pain. Many turn to opioid painkillers for relief.
The evidence is not at all clear about the efficacy of these drugs long-term for chronic pain.
Mayo Clinic pain management specialist Dr. Mike Hooten says what is clear about these painkillers is the risk associated with taking them.
The problems of addiction, but also a related problem of accidental overdose deaths.
Keep your body in motion with Little Goddess's Pain Potion on littlegoddessapothecary.com.
According to quantum physics, a particle vibrating from your sound box when you speak can affect a molecule inside a star at the edge of the universe instantly. This is what's known as quantum entanglement. The greatest illusion of the universe is the illusion of separation. Do not say your voice carries no weight. Your words are being absorbed by the edge of infinity. May you create as you speak.
Greetings, family. The Resurrection Formula is on sale now. You can order it at www.professorgriff.me or simply call 678-557-2919 or just text 678-557-2919 or scan the QR code on the screen. This is Professor Griff, and thank you very much. The Resurrection Formula is on sale now at www.professorgriff.me. Thank you.